The leading edge is now finished and it's drying, so I can't really put the, well, I suppose I could start down there with the geodetic, but kind of left the aileron hanging, so I'm going to jump back on the aileron. And I do have my aileron horns finished. I think I can't remember, so I've got to get the prints out again. Can't remember quite at what position this here gets bolted in there, and because that slot doesn't need to be very wide, but yet it seems to me the last 4 wings that I've built, I kept going up and down with the slot a little, or opening that slot wider, because I didn't cut it in just the right place for where this slides down in and for the angle it goes. Okay, on the wing print, it is perfectly centered, and it's relatively the same. One thing I haven't done yet, though, is I haven't drawn on my print where, you know, I guess I ought to tape my print first, but where my compression strut goes, where the pulleys go in reality instead of what the print shows. And I don't really like how cramped I got it. I probably could have gone an extra, at least an extra ½ inch back from this rib. But I'm going to say that it's, well, let's call it 3 inches. So we'll say 3½ inches back from this rib, which is a pretty exact location. Rather exact, because you're going 1 foot each rib from the root. And I found the source of all our problems when we're trying to put the pulleys in and the compression strut in. This here RP5 drawing, this here is 22 degrees of an angle there, and you can see I've tried to draw what's actually there on the other, the spar print on there. It gets real messy, so I just decided to draw it on the main print for the spar. So this is 26 degrees, 26 and a little more. The other one's just under 22, which stretches it way out over in here. So this here is the next rib beyond the 96-inch rib, is this one here. So between this one, which I've drawn on here, and the compression strut, I didn't make it 3½, I decided 3¼ because it had plenty of room at 3 inches. I just thought I'd give it a little bit more. And then, so now I know that the compression strut's going to go here and the rib is here. So before while I'm building the spar, I can go ahead and build this area up right in here for the pulleys. And because the other one, it has the pulleys right down in here, and they would be like running right into this rib. While I'm waiting on the leading edge to dry so I can put the geodetic over and under it, I'll go ahead and glue in the aileron horn spar. We'll call it aileron horn spar, and I'll get it glued in. I made a stiffener, like a backing plate, for the bolts that go in against the horn, and get it glued in. Put a block on this side. Of course, the horn goes on that side. Get this here backside glued in and wedged in. So we have the horn in there good. We've got little wedges going into the geodetic slots on both sides of the back part of it. And then we also put on the build-up area for the hinge bolts, and then the caps for where we butt jointed the web, and then creative clamping. This here is just a little bit of weight because I couldn't get that to stay wedged. This one's a little wedged. Of course, you can see that that one's bent and wedged. Same with this one over here. Just some creative clamping. Somebody asked me if I use staples, somebody recently, and I just don't. I don't use staples. They're a hassle. They leave holes. They don't split the wood very much, but they do, and they leave a hole in it. But then this here hinge point, I can't glue up the hinge point here until this here dries up. And then once this dries up, then I'll go ahead and get my oscillating saw, and I'll saw right along there, and so I can fit this here aileron horn in.